you do, to me feels like very personal, and like you care about it a lot as individuals. And so I kind of just want to ask a little bit about kind of how what you do influences you as a person, and kind of like why do you do the things that you do? Like what kind of motivates you to do those things?
When we had the nuclear disaster first in 2011, March 11, when that entire thing happened, the communities were dispersed in ways that no one could actually measure properly for the first even close to a year. So we couldn't even figure out where our neighbors were. And when the disaster hit, the tsunami also came along the way, and we lost some of our houses as well, and we had to figure out what to do with our belongings on the way to how we can better actually help each other. The best work I was able to do was to just help each people reconnect as much as I can, and try to reach out to people and not only gain testimonials, but help them by actually doing what I did best back then. It isn't much, but at the same time, for a small town and the small areas that we have, it was as much as we could do. So we could do these things that were a lot of good that I see. But
the biggest issue that had an impact on me was the incident with the freshman student who tragically passed away recently. And the problem is that people don't start conversations about it. I don't want it to be that way. I want people to support each other. We made an announcement post on our page regarding the incident. We renamed our page to NWE means for wholesome teens, only accepted wholesome content. One of the best ways to kind of understand that like people aren't happy about is through satire. People make fun of the things they don't like. And I admire your position because you start conversations, and I think that is vital. That's like, people don't want to talk about uncomfortable things because it makes them feel responsible for it. It makes them feel like they need to do something, and it's kind of calling them out, but you know, it's not really. You just want to bring attention to the thing, and that's basically what I do. I kind of moderate what people want to talk about.
I guess for me, like something that we talk about a lot in NYGM is we do like a thing a lot of Wednesdays. It's our Why Wednesday, and it's like why do we do this? A lot of times we feel like you're like I don't want to do this anymore. I don't really want that anymore. But I feel like because I have those moments and those little like interactions with the kids, and they say thank you. And this past spring, I planned a run on the Hudson River for the kids that raised around $1,500. This kid Joshua, who is my angel, he's this like little boy, just runs around everywhere. His dad came to me and he was like, you know, we never get to go outside and like have a day outside as a family because we're always in the hospital. So thank you for giving that to me. In the end, I don't need a thank you from anyone. Like I don't need that, but getting to see even like people just forming connections, and like as people who do things like on a large scale, you could forget that a lot, and you forget those like little things, so it's like important to keep them in your mind.
There's always this thought that's in the back of my mind no matter what I do, and I kind of mentioned it first, because I always think about who could be me or who could be here, and who is here and isn't me and isn't doing what I'm doing. What's really important to me is like a member of the LGBTQ community, and as a member of like the Black community and everything else, is that we come from a long line and are part of a large community of people that just haven't had the opportunities that they deserve, haven't had the ability to express like the talents that they have, to see their dreams come to fruition. And that looks different each day, but if I can connect to writing an email to the fact that someone maybe in the past has had to deal with this issue and I can fix it right here by writing this email to this one person, then I'll do it in that 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it takes. If I can meet with someone and just remember that, you know, at the end of the day, like some Black student, like 10 years from now, is going to come here, and this aspect of their life that wouldn't have been of their life if they'd been here now is now an institutionalized policy that exists and will continue to help people that look like them and don't look like them.
How does your work influence you?
Someone I told first year, Kat, that I would do any of the things that I've done this year, I guess. Like, I would like laugh in your face, like as well as a person who was like okay with her own identities and like felt, you know, like able to, you know, have these important meetings where I'm the only woman in the room or I'm the only queer person in the room. Like I think it's like things like that. Like it pushes you a lot, and you build these skills without even realizing it.
But at the same time, the one thing I see is, sometimes it's great to have someone say thank you to you. But at the same time, in my case, I'd rather have them go to the events that maybe I can be a part of managing or hosting, but then not even notice that I'm there. Because when I'm there, that means they are usually going through something that you don't want them to go through. And they're going through situations that you just don't want them to be in, right? And so I wish that they sometimes don't need to know me. And so sometimes they don't have to also, I don't know, realize that I'm here.
That's really good.
That's incredibly put. Like, you want people to not know you.
I think the best reward is just it going well, I guess. It's like more than that, but I don't know.
How do you think being at NYU has changed you and coming here and learning and, you know, taking on all the jobs you do? How do you think that's changed you and affected you?
I think NYU specifically, the type of people here are always like moving and doing something. They're always trying to help their communities wherever their community is and whatever their community looks like. And that's like the greatest motivator, is to feel that like you see so many people doing other stuff and you're like, how can I support them? How can I do something like that for the people I care about? And it's just kind of like, I always kind of cared about the world in a way, but more than that, I learned that you could actually do something about what you care about, which I'm sure I would have felt at another university. It's like a beautiful thing to witness every day, to try to internalize for yourself.
I feel like what NYU really gave me is maturity, to understand, to kind of realize that you are also just a background character in someone else's main story, you know? You have to be conscious of others, and you have to be understanding that people have stories. How NYU changed me is perhaps it didn't change me, it helped me understand maturity more, you know. I'm still stupid. I'm still very stupid, but being conscious that you are, I feel like that's the first step. So.
That's a great place to end.
I feel stupid too,
Yeah.
all the time.
Thanks for coming by. I feel like this was both like